You might feel like your Amazon KDP journey has hit a wall and that no matter what you do, your books just don't get noticed. But this video could be the turning point. Today, we're looking at real listings from our KDP community and breaking down exactly what's stopping books from ranking and selling. I'll show you how to fix it, how to get your listing working for you, and how to finally start gaining traction your book deserves. Alright, so let's get right into this video. And just quickly, in case you're new to this channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different KDP accounts. And we have a free authors Facebook group with over 230,000 members in it. And with our self-publishing Titans tools, we have helped over 300,000 people publish their books on Amazon. So that's just a quick thing about us. And let's look at the first book here. And let's figure out why this book is not getting any sales. So with the self-publishing Titans Chrome extension, we can see that this book does not have a bestseller rank at all, which means unfortunately it has never gotten a single sale. So let's figure out what's stopping this book. So we'll start by looking at the title here. So it says The Perfect Garden. And then the subtitle says Garden Planner and Journal for Gardens of All Levels. 146 page, 8.5 by 11 planner, perfect for tracking growing progress. So first couple missed opportunities / little mistakes that we have here is that this is a low content book, but we don't have an exact match long tail keyword. So garden planner that's a keyword, but besides that, we don't have any other keywords that are exact match, and this is just too short. So having two word keywords as an exact match is just not niche enough, and ideally we want to niche down even more, and I'll show you how to do that. This is part of the Self-Publishing Titans Chrome extension. And if you're not familiar with that, you can go to the Google Chrome store and type in Self-Publishing Titans. And it'll be the bottom extension right here, which is the brand new one. And that is replacing the two prior ones. So this is the all-in-one extension that is getting all the updates and upgrades. And then that will show you all of the Amazon search suggestions. It will tell you the estimated monthly search volume. It'll tell you the exact amount of competitors or search results, and then the demand score and opportunity scores. And these go between 0 and 9, and 9 being the highest. So ideally, we're always looking for something that has a score of 5 on both of them or higher. So here we can see garden journal, planner, and logbook. That would have been a good keyword and a good exact match. And we can see here that we have garden planner and journal. So it's not the exact match that people are searching for, which will make it harder to rank on Amazon for that keywords, because it's not an exact match. So if it's an exact match keyword, it's just easier for the search algorithm to understand it, easier for them to rank you for it, and it will also help you get a better click-through rate. Because if someone is looking for a garden planner and logbook, and they see that exact wording in the title, they're also much more likely to click on that. So really, really important. So this is probably the major reason we're not getting sales so far. And then just a small mistake here, we didn't capitalize the word page, but all the other words are capitalized. So that's just a small mistake. But when it's a small mistake or typo, you can always contact the KDP support team and ask them to fix the mistake that you made. And they will do that often, but not always. So moving along, let's look at the cover. So overall, the cover looks nice and clean for the most part. I think the one thing that it is missing is color. I feel like, at least personally, when someone is doing gardening as a hobby, they like colorful plants, like colorful flowers, and here it's kind of brown and not as exciting. So I think that could also be one reason people are not clicking on this. What I would do, however, is look at the competition for this niche and see what kind of covers they have. But I'm almost certain that there will be many with nice, beautiful colors. So that's one change that I would make. And then just a small preference here on the design. We can see here that there's more space on the left side than there's on the right side. And that's both in actual space and then in terms of the space with the plants. So here we're kind of cutting off that plant, which is kind of unnecessary. So we could just move that into the center, which would be slightly left. And then that would fit nicer and it would have a better harmony between these two sides and the plants here. Super minor thing, but I'm just trying to to notice all the things that we can, because all the small things start adding up to one larger problem or missed opportunity. So looking at the description here, we have another missed opportunity, which is that the bullet points are cut off by the read more button, and your bullet points are the most important part of your description. So we always want to have them right near the top, so below the first line. That's my personal preference for every single book listing, is having just a nice starting line and then a space and then the bullet points. But for sure, it should all be visible before the read more button. So here we can see that. And then there's also way too many bullet points. So that's the other thing. Bullet points are ideally meant to be 5, and you shouldn't have more or less than that. 5 is kind of the sweet spot. So I would figure out which of these are the most important ones, and these others could be turned into paragraphs or just deleted if it's not so important. So here I can see we say 8.5 by 11, but it's already been mentioned in the title, and Amazon also mentions it right down below here. So we've already have it twice. So this is kind of a waste. And in 146 pages, Amazon tells you right here, and you're also telling readers right here the same thing. So I would change that. So just figure out what is the most important things. Don't have anything unnecessary there. And then I want to quickly mention the price here. $10.49 is slightly pricey for a simple journal, and I would try to reduce that to under $10. And for a low content book like this, I don't see a need to have it 146 pages. You could just make it 108 pages or 110 pages, which will give you the lowest printing costs. And then you could also lower the price. And if there is a reason, then I can't see it here. It just feels slightly random, almost having 146, not even 150. So that's just a minor thing that I would probably adjust. But the price is obviously also important. So looking at the A+ content, it's good that you have a tiny section here, but it feels a little bit empty. Ideally, we have a few sections just so it feels a little bit more full and a little bit more complete. And the other thing we can improve here is having a content section that is taller, so we can make these pages much bigger, because right now no one can read what this tracker is, what the different columns are. The care log, you can't read any details, and in here you also can't read anything. Now the other thing I can tell you is that it would be really important to have consistent font. So having a different font here and a different font here just feels random and not as nice as it probably should be. So I would fix that. And then the other thing here, we can see that this layout design here has spacing in between for the grids, but then here it's just a solid piece. So it also just feels a little bit inconsistent just for this planner. I would recommend also having that little bit more consistency there. But most importantly, you just want to have large pages, because right now no one can see what kind of planner or journal this is. And for a low content book, that is the most important thing, because hardly anyone or maybe no one will buy the book if they can't see what is actually inside. Because this is a really personal logbook or journal, so they want to make sure that it really suits their needs. And if they can't see that, they're just going to scroll down below and click on the next listing, and then you lost all the sales. So then the last thing here is we don't have an author section and an author image. So we definitely want to add that. And unfortunately, we also don't have any reviews. So we also want to fix that. And you could go to selfpublishingtitans.com and go to the advanced reader copy service right here. This is a brand new thing. Or look at any other alternative, just whatever suits your needs the most, and just go with that. But I feel like we have found all the reasons why this book is not selling. So moving forward, you should have much better results. And let's do the same thing for this next book here. So this book also, unfortunately, has never gotten a single sale. And this has been a few months now. So let's figure out the reason why. So the title says The Uncoloring Book, Stress Relief and Mindfulness Practice Through Tracing and Imagination on Floral Patterns and Natural Landscape. So a few things stood out to me here already. The uncoloring book, maybe I'm not familiar with this niche, but uncoloring sounds kind of odd, and the cover doesn't really explain what uncoloring is. So someone would have to be familiar with what uncoloring is, because the cover doesn't show it to them, and the subtitle kind of talks about it, but also doesn't fully explain it. So it doesn't feel like it's perfect for a complete beginner like myself for this niche. So it says, practice through tracing and imagination. But then here on the cover, I can't see anything to trace or imagine because everything is already there. So kind of the concept between the title and the explanation of the title and the cover is not really the best. And I feel like that's already the first reason we're not getting sales. But then the second thing is the niche. I'm just going to check this. So it doesn't look like This is even a search suggestion. At least I don't see it right now. So that's the main problem here also, is that you have a niche that you're trying to get sales for, but nobody's searching for it. So that's really important when it comes to Amazon. It's really bad to try and invent some brand new niche that no one is searching for with a keyword that no one is searching for, because that's almost the perfect recipe for getting 0 sales. So if you do want to be creative, you want to be creative within a niche that makes sense and that people are already searching for. So for example, adult coloring book, and that keyword is searched for a lot, obviously way too competitive, but that kind of keyword is really broad and it doesn't say what kind of coloring book it is. It only says who it's for. So with that kind of keyword, you can make pretty much any kind of coloring book that adults might enjoy. There you can go kind of wild with your imagination, but when it comes to a specific niche, or a specific keyword, then people have to be searching for it. And then just one minor thing here, you had floral patterns, so plural, but then here you have natural landscape, not in plural, so it just feels a little bit inconsistent. Not a major thing, but you know, it all adds up to not getting sales. The price here is $11.90, which is also slightly pricey for a standard kind of coloring book, especially when you're not getting sales. So when you first launch a book, you can always start lower, and then as you're getting sales, you can try increasing it to see how the market is responding. And then it's either good, and if it's not good, you can lower the price again. But starting high, I don't know, that's the best idea, and it's clearly not paying off. So then the other thing here, huge missed opportunity, unfortunately, is that the back cover is a nice pattern or design, but we're not showing what uncoloring is. So here, this would be a perfect place to show coloring pages or the pages inside of your book, so a potential buyer can see what uncoloring is all about. But here they can't see anything, and it's just a blank page. So definitely a huge missed opportunity. And when it comes to coloring books, puzzle books, activity books, or low content books, if there is the back cover displayed by Amazon, you always want to take full advantage of that and show example pages so the buyer can see what your book is about. Really, really important. So now let's look at your description. It looks like we have a nice length here. The only thing is we kind of have some really big bold bullet points, and then we have some smaller ones. So it doesn't feel as nice or professional as it should. And the other thing is that some of the bullet points are cut off. So what I would do is look at all of your bullet points here and make them into really short bullet points, because here you have a bullet point which is 4 lines long, which is way too long. So a bullet point should never be longer than 1 full line. Ideally, you can figure out what to say in a bullet point in kind of like a half a line length, and that should be long enough. And then you can always have more paragraphs after that, but your bullet points should be short and to the point, because that's the most important part in your core of your description. And potential buyers like looking at that because it gives them a quick overview of what the book is or is not. And that should always be also near the top. So that would be my tip here. Moving along, let's look at your A+ content. Okay, so another big missed opportunity here. Once again, when it comes to Amazon KDP, because it is getting more and more competitive, you want to do everything that Amazon offers you to have a slight advantage over your competitors, because not everybody does A+ content. So if you do it, it just makes your listing better and it gives you even more chances to get sales. So not having that is just a huge missed opportunity. And this is even more important when you're doing coloring books or activity books, because you once again want to show your interior pages so someone can see what your book is all about. So definitely want to have that. So I feel like this book is just really obvious why we're not getting sales. I guess the good news is now we know why. So moving forward, we can avoid making the same mistakes and rather fix that and then start having better results. So I hope that was helpful. For anyone that's new to KDP and interested in free resources, tools, and training, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com/free. There's also a link down below in the description of the video, and check that out. And if you want me to review one of your books as well, you can go to selfpublishingtitans.com/review and submit your book listing to me right here. The link is also in the video description, and I would love to help you as well. This is obviously free. And otherwise, make sure to subscribe, because I make these videos every single day, and leaving a comment down below and a like is supporting the channel and very much appreciated. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.